Okay, I wanted to do a quick little something on the Jawjacker Jigger. There's the bag it comes in. These guys are pretty awesome. There's a spike on the bottom here, and they got a little cap for it that stays attached to the bag. I'll just pull it off there, and then that pulls out. I have my Jawjacker already mounted on the jigger, and inside here is 3 wheels. So there is the wiggle wheel, so it's basically pretty minor, maybe something for perch or whitefish. There is the tooth wheel. It's where it says right on there, tooth wheel. So this is what I've been using all year for pike walleye. I've had good luck with it. It's been my go-to. So I'm gonna keep it out. And this one I don't use. This is the big jig wheel. So there's quite the substantial drop from the top to the bottom on this one, which I haven't been using, but maybe it's good for whites or perch. I don't know. I'm not in a perch lake to try it. Set those down. That's just some packing. So how this works is, I'll pull this pin out. Here's your regular Jawjacker, where your legs would flip out. I leave them in for this, in this scenario. I take the pin, put it through the bottom little wedge piece here. Then on the jigging base, this is the jigging base that you'll get, I go through this top hole. So top hole, push it through. Now you can see this moves up and down. I use the spring. It comes with a spring that mounts. When I store it, I just keep it in this little back pocket here. It's a good spot to store it into. Just keep it in there. So I'll pop that out, and then I screw it into this little front area here. You kind of give it a couple twists, and it doesn't lock into place, but it sits in there. It's a temporary lock position. Then when it jigs, it pushes it up, back up and down. So what I do, I take my tooth wheel and slide it onto the back here, find that magic spot, and done. So when you turn this on now, there's a button on the side here. I've labeled it on and off for my sake, for just if I know my batteries are dead or if you trip it by accident. Your wheel spins, pushes down on the spring, drops down, goes back up a little, down, sorry, up, down. And that is your jigging jacker, basically, in a nutshell. So, depending on rod length, you open it up at the back here. Everything's on pins, and they all have little strings holding them on, which is pretty awesome. There's numbers along the side here on both sides. So hole number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then they line up with a little arrow right here. So I'll line that up. I like to use, for the rod I use out there, I like to go to number 6, put the pin through, lock it in place, lock it in there, lift this up. Again, I like to use the second hole on this one. So you just put that in there. And that's it for that. And then the jigging base itself has legs that slide out and little feet here that extend with some spikes on them. That melts into the ice nicely. And that is your jigging Jawjacker base. I'll get some more footage of it outside once I get it hooked up over a hole and show you what it's all about out there. But I've had Jawjackers for years. I have enough for me and my wife when we're out here. I now have 2 jigging bases after this year because I really like them. Out the other day, that last video we made, I was out fishing buddy with the jigger versus the non-jigging. So it's one of those things, if it's on, it's on. If it's not, it's not. You can always just turn the button off and leave it as a regular Jawjacker as well. So they've worked out really well for me. It's a great company out of the States. I did have a broken piece with these guys on one that I bought this year. They replaced it right away for me. It's in the mail. Awesome service that way. I haven't received it yet, but he mailed it the next day with all the postage coming over the border up to Canada. So waiting on it from the post-ish end of things, but from the customer service, he emailed me the next day and said it's in the mail. You'll get it when you get it, and thanks for buying our product, kind of thing. So it was pretty awesome. So I definitely do recommend these. I have no affiliation with them. I'm just doing this one because it's something I like to use, and I hope you like them too. Okay, so here is some footage of the Jawjacker. So I tied on one of their special little loops on the front of the rod. That's another thing I like about these, is that the trigger mechanism works through the loop, not through your rod tip. I wouldn't want to put my rod tip into a metal release mechanism like some people have been doing. This is a shorter rod. I changed things up. I decided to go for whitefish, so I put on a smaller lure out here. So I moved the pin to the hole number 1, changed the back pin to the 3rd hole just so it's smaller, and the rod's bent over. Now there's a trigger mechanism that the line's sitting over right up at the front here. So when that line gets pulled down, it releases and the rod goes up into the air and sets the hook on the fish, which is legal in Alberta. Not sure about other provinces or in the States, but it is legal in Alberta where I am fishing. So that is the Jawjacker in a nutshell.